Okay, the first thing that I'm going to have you do is get your skewer out and your ruler and your marker. So the goal of this activity is to make a transmembrane protein that looks like this. This represents what's in a healthy person, and it's going to be flawed in someone that has cystic fibrosis. So this is the end goal, and we're going to go through a few steps to make that. So the first thing you do is you take your skewer, which is 12 inches long, and you put it right here in the middle, and you make little marks on it every 1 inch, and that's where you'll make your cuts. So line, you're working with a partner, like that. Okay, so you have your marks, and then once you have your marks, you go ahead and take your scissors and you cut. So I'll just do this with you. You can let it run as you go. So you get all of these 12 pieces of protein. Each of these represents one alpha helix in the protein that we're going to be studying for someone that has cystic fibrosis, the CFTR protein. Nice 1 inch alpha helices represented by a wooden skewer. So you should have 12 alpha helices ready to go. Okay. All right, go ahead and take your pin. This pin is going to give us this internal shape right here. So what you need to do is take off a piece of tape like so, and you want the sticky side to be facing out. So I want my matte side to be facing the actual pin. So my sticky side is facing up. So kind of finagle it so you make this tunnel with the sticky side out for the tape. So it's like tape right there, okay? So once you have that, pause if you don't, take your hot glue gun and smear some hot glue all around just the tape. Try not to get the pen at all, okay, because you're going to want this tape ring to slide right off of the pen. So kind of make nice little pools, spread out all neat. Now we need to move quickly here because this is going to dry. So now I'm just simply going to start putting my alpha helices all around my pen, creating this membrane tunnel that will be inserted into the cell. Okay. You're a little short, kind of finagle it so you spread the like that. Just make it so you might have a little gap space, just kind of move them around. The glue should be malleable enough at this point where you can kind of make it so they're as close and as evenly spaced as you can possibly make it. So it looks like this right now. Okay. I'm just gonna let that dry. All right, and when it's ready, either you're gonna have to reinforce it with glue like this. You might not even need to do this, but that's okay if you do. It'll dry and it'll look just fine. Okay. So I maybe had to reinforce the perimeter. I'm going to let it dry, and when it is dry, it is ready to be slid off the pin and used as an ion channel. Okay, so right now you have this dried on your pen, and you just need to simply slide it off. It should be a nice tunnel right now. So what we need to do is embed that into our cells. So what you're going to do is take your origami cell, put that to the side. It's going to go about right there. So make some incisions right here so you can insert that, like maybe like that, like that. Okay, so once that's ready to go, all right, now I have my membrane transporter protein embedded into my cell. So this represents inside the lung cell. This is like in your air tube. So on this other side of this membrane protein, you're going to have mucus. Okay, so this mucus is going to be out there. The texture is going to be different depending on if you have cystic fibrosis or not. So what's going to happen is inside of these lung cells or airway cells, you're going to have these chlorine ions like like so. I'm gonna put my chlorine ions in there. Okay, and what they need to do is they need to be able to escape the cell to head into the mucus. So what they're going to do is they are going to take this transporter protein. So it might be kind of clunky, but that's okay. Just take your chlorine and push it through to the other side. And I'm going to teach you guys through this lesson how this flow of chlorine ions is going to change the texture of this surrounding mucus.